been southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I ought to slow down, standing in the pouring rain.
What's going on, guys? Tristan and Tony here with the One Hell of a Life Outdoor Podcast. We're coming, just with some recent events right after the Delta Waterfowl Expo. That was a great time. And what's going on, Tony?
What is going on, son?
Yeah, it's always weird calling you Tony/Dad when I work for you and our day jobs. And I don't like when I'm talking to a random person, I'm like, hey, could be a customer or whatever. I'm like, yeah, my dad, who's the owner, whose name's Tony. Like, it's just weird.
Well, it's not as weird as me calling you Tristan.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but it seems like the only time I call you Tristan anymore is like when you piss me off at work or something like that. But
yeah, that's about it.
It would be really funny, though, if we were in front of a bunch of people and we get into one of our little spats, if you just start going, gosh damn it, Tony. You just don't even call me Dad. Just call me Tony only. And they'll just be like, no, man, but we're so excited to we're going to spend some time tonight bringing a visual to y'all. Number one, some of the humbling experiences we had meeting some incredible people this weekend. But we want you to see it through our eyes, what this Delta Waterfowl thing was all about. Because I will tell you what, it's the single best duck hunting, it's the single best outdoor event that I've ever been to.
That's cool.
And I'm telling you, I've been to some really killer deer and turkey classics in Illinois and stuff like that, and I haven't seen them all, but and of course it's just based on my opinion, but number one, we will tell you that we were just driving home for 9 hours, humbled to death, excited, really just so many times we were just humbled to death.
Yeah.
What we was talking about, just some of the great people that we got to meet. So anyway, I think we'll just kind of start off with day one. And
one thing I wanted to add to that real quick is like the whole being thankful and humble thing. It was just it was so cool, like the people that we have connected with through social media for going on 4 years now. There were so many handshakes and face-to-face talking and pictures and all that stuff that we haven't had the opportunity to do because everybody is doing their own thing, hunting and doing their life and stuff. And it was just, that was so amazing just to be able to just meet these people and shake hands.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No, that was the highlight for us for sure. So I was going to say we'll start off with the first day, but the only day that we were able to attend. But, but I can't not talk about
the first night.
The
only night.
Number one, let me give it up to some of the restaurant and bar owners around the State House Convention Center there in Little Rock.
What were those places called?
So we went to one called Brewski's. And then that was a good time, and which had a basement.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it Chen? It's Chen Gear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that they had rented out and had a private party downstairs, but then we went down and did an after party, and it was like a Chen Plus party.
Yeah.
But it got packed really quick, and we hung out with Ken's brother from the East Coast, and
that was a quick little side story real quick, and keep that train of thought, but we're sitting there eating dinner, and I'm wearing an East Coast waterfowl hat, and I'm talking to Colin, our buddy that's at Arkansas, lives there in Little Rock, who we were staying with, and shout out to him, and thanks for letting us stay again. And we're sitting there talking to him and Kelsey, his girlfriend, and he's like, hey, those guys got some East Coast waterfowl stuff on. And I turn around and I'm like, that looks just like Kent Jones, the owner of East Coast Waterfowl. And he told me his brother and his friend were coming to run the booth this weekend. Yeah. And I was like, is your name Seth? And he's like, yeah, man. So, we ended up connecting and hanging out with those guys for a lot of the night, but continue.
Yeah, no, it was a great time. And we ate some awesome, the food was great there. It's just your standard bar food or whatever, but it's within walking distance of the convention center. And but then we went downstairs, and then that's whenever I felt like, thank God there's a bunch of older duck hunters here too, because I would not be able to come here on a Friday night normally. I'm too old. But it was fun. I mean, they had the music was bumping, and there was all duck hunters,
playing Braves highlights on the TV. I was happy to see that.
It's full of duck hunters mostly, and some cool local people we talked to too.
And that was really damn cool to have just a whole spot ran by duck hunters. Was awesome.
It felt like a duck hunter private party.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It did. Well, it really did. Whenever we go on to, I guess that's how we should do it. When we went on to the next place, so. Whoever's genius idea it was, okay,
let's go to a dueling piano bar.
Yeah, I'm like, dueling pianos, bro. Let's go watch that battle.
Yeah.
I'm like, seriously, it's battle time for the pianos. And the lead singer from Meatloaf was playing one of the
Dude, he did look like that. That's hilarious.
From Meatloaf was playing one of them, and then the other guy
sang a lot better.
Had to be like, I don't know, who was he? He kind of reminded me of
I don't know. He's an old
John Denver maybe or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He's a southern-looking, long-haired gentleman.
Yeah, but we go in there and immediately there's some trash talking going on. We found out later there was a little bit of good love battle between Delta Waterfowl and Ducks Unlimited groups that had been there, and that's a whole nother joke. But immediately we're amongst duck hunters, and and of all ages. And these guys, these piano guys, dude, you just walk up and say, I want to listen to a song, and they're like, yeah, I haven't heard that all night. Boom. Or they'll tell you, dude, I've played that 8 times tonight. You know, like I said, I bet you haven't played Piano Man yet tonight. And he's like, are you shitting me? I said, no, man, I'm just kidding. And he played it anyway. But yeah, I asked him one time, I said, hey, can you play some Fleetwood Mac? He goes, hell yeah, I can play some Fleetwood Mac. And just started, just started hitting it, dude. And, but it was a good time. And then we found out there was a basement there. Mm-hmm. Continue.
Oh yeah. I mean, we went down in the basement, and, I was pretty drunk at that point, but I remember
we did have Uber.
Yeah.
All right.
I remember going in that basement and all that, and we got to connect some of the 24/7 hunt guys, and give me one too.
As waterfowlers, we experience all kinds of extreme weather conditions. Stay bone dry and warm with Frog Togs hunting gear. You can check them out at frogtogs.com or at frogtogshunt on Instagram.
Got to connect with some of those guys and talk. I think Aubrey and Ricky were down there, and we just hung out, and they had a nice chair down there, and Tony and Colin were posing and taking some good pictures. It's like a king's chair. But no, man, it was that night was rowdy, and we closed down the bars, and I'm telling people, like all my friends and all of our people we're connected with through Zero Dark 30 and stuff, like next year, like I'm telling everybody to come, because it was such a blast going out with everybody and seeing everybody the next day. Like it was just like the most ultimate duck hunting community event ever.
Yeah, and then we had to end up. I'll tell you a real quick, long story short, without spoiling anything. We had to leave at the Pinnacle night on Saturday night.
Yeah.
When we had people basically telling us we were idiots for leaving, but we had personal things that we had to do, so that's why we had. It was a tough turn and burn to do 8-9 hours.
We were gone 36 hours, and 16 of it was driving.
The rest of the time, put in partying, put in sleep, then all day long at the Waterfowl Expo.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, so we went back. We get up, and we were staying at Collins, and so cut to the chase on the morning. We get up, and I'm like feeling like surprisingly okay. But I got up a couple times in the middle of the night. I had to go to the bathroom and stuff or whatever. And we get in the truck and everything. And we went and got some food at McDonald's. And
dude, normally I like bounce back really good, but I've been like trying to eat healthier and trying to drink less and stuff like that. I don't know if it played in it or I'm
for sure, dude,
being a wuss or what, but I woke up with a pounding headache, which even when I'm hungover, like hard, like I never have a pounding headache. So I'm like, I don't know what this is about. And we go to McDonald's, and so I got a liquid IV. I got a bunch of vitamins and shit. I take that and eat whatever, freaking Egg McMuffin or whatever.
We went by Walgreens, so I get a shoelace to tie around my pants because I left my belt at home.
Yeah. So that's how this cruise rolled into the Delta Waterfowl thing, but
hungover in the morning.
We get driving down the road, and I'm like, this is not sitting right, and I can just tell where this is going. So I find a gas station and pull over and found a grassy spot and had to freaking get the demons out real quick. And but then I was like, fine, like just bounced back perfectly. And
well, and there's no way that ibuprofen even had a chance to dissolve in your body.
The vitamins probably didn't either.
But yeah, you just had to pass out the demons, dude. You had to do an exorcism.
It was. I had to. But by the time we got there, I was just so wild that I think I felt good, but I think I was just so wild that like I just couldn't even think about anything. I was like literally 2 minutes into walking into the place, coming up the elevator is his name's Austin, who runs the Quack Shack podcast with Takem Falco. I'm sure a lot of y'all have seen them on social media and stuff, but he's coming up the escalator. I'm like, Quack Shack, what's up, man? Like, and that's how it was all day, man. It was awesome.
It was nuts. We looked like a couple kids in the candy store, and we went back and later reflected on this, that really the first 75% of the booths, we had so much ADD that we didn't even remember anything.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, we ended up making 3 full trips through every booth, basically. But the first pass was just like, I mean,
yeah,
it was
just,
like,
just,
I mean, you just wowed. And, and we had some people stop us and talk to us and stuff. And that was really cool. And we're seeing, we saw Godwin, bro.
Yeah, we get there and we I forgot the first thing we did or whatever, but I know we went over and said hi to Dirty Duck and Buck over there. And Curl Feather Photographer, this guy we've been connected with social media, met him cruising around. I don't even remember what happened after that. Who was the next
I don't remember exactly who we met next, but it was just like the first trip through was just a blur. And I remember sitting there thinking, dude, I don't even know if I can remember anything because, I'm looking around and we're, one of the first things we definitely did is we met up with Stacy.
Yeah. Yep. That's right. Yeah.
Stacy, that was
Dirty Duck. And then yeah.
Yeah. We were like, all right, where's Stacy at? So Tristan's on the phone texting her or whatever. And, Stacy Whittam is, she runs the, Delta Waterfowl, Georgia.
Yeah. She's the regional director of Delta Waterfowl for, Florida and Georgia, I believe.
Yeah.
Is her title, but.
And incredible woman, incredible conservationist. She is awesome and a ball of fun. And so we got to meet her and honored to, quite honestly. And, that was freaking awesome. And, we got to talk with her again more, but, everything was just, it was just like the only way I can explain it is if you were like the first time you were a kid and walked through Toys R Us.
Yeah.
I mean, you could blur up and down 8 aisles and you get done, you're like, I don't even know what I saw, but I got slobber on my chin. I mean?
It's still just surreal. And I know I said this a second ago, but like just the amount of people, because any of you guys that are in like the posting of waterfowl content, like you just connect with people through social media. It just happens, and it was just wild how many people we met that we just were like, we had talked to, we DM'd before, like, holy shit, dude, you're here too? Like, what's up? Like, it was just so cool. I loved it.
Well, so we went through another pass and we had some targeted people that we obviously look up to. As we have role models ourselves, I think everybody's got to have that. We've done that since we were kids, right? Whether you wanted to be a fireman or a police officer or a football player or a basketball player, whatever you wanted to be, we're always inspired by somebody, and big inspiration to us has always been Billy and Dr. Duck, and Dennis over there at Dr. Duck Company. They've always been a huge inspiration to us because they really do a great job of telling the story of how hard the work is and what you really need to do to go out and be successful if you're a mallard purist.
Yeah, right.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I saw those guys smoking some black or Mr. Lozier. Is that how you pronounce it? I get confused with Lozier. Yeah, I get confused with Drew. But anyway, they were out shooting black ducks on the East Coast last year. But You know,
I don't know how Dennis is. I thought you were talking about Drew.
yeah, no, I was talking about Dennis.
Yeah.
Their last names. Our Drew's last name is very similar to Dennis's last name. So we'll just leave it at that for now. But no, it was definitely somebody that we've talked to for a long time. If you guys didn't hear it, go listen to the podcast with Billy from last year.
Yeah, it was like this time last year.
Yeah. And not only were they somebody that we looked up to and stuff, you know, getting into the sport, like Drew was talking about on our last podcast, you know, like, man, we used to be horrible duck hunters, dude. I mean, we didn't know nothing. And these are some of the folks that help us, you know, and I just, you know, I won't forget that, you know, in a nutshell, real quick, how we all connected was this. I knew that they were always out there filming all the time. And I had found out through us trying to get permission to get a filming permit on public land
In Arkansas.
that, and you Arkansas duck hunters are going to love this, this communication. But, and I'm not trying to throw anything at AGFC, but what happened is I called to find out about a permit, and somebody said, "What permit?" And I said, "Well, you got to have this permit." And they said, "Well, we're going to put you in contact with director of wildlife," or whatever it is, like somebody up there. I don't know, but she's a very super nice professional lady that I spoke to. And she said, "Oh, sir, that was removed in 2019. And she cited this exact like number and stuff from the book. And so I thought, So I went back and contacted the Arkansas Game and Fish Department and to who's the gentleman that is the head of that? We drive by his place out there.
I don't know.
I forgive us for not remembering, but he's the director of waterfowl and everything for the state of Georgia, or state of Arkansas. And basically, somebody that works for him called me and said, "Hey, Tony, I looked it up. You are correct. She was correct. It's right here." He cited it to me. I actually recorded the voicemail. I kept the voicemail. I still have today. And so anyway, I thought, man, dude, I wonder what they were charging before or something. I'm thinking the first people I think of is who's inspired me. It's Billy and Dr. Duck, you know? So I just sent an email to Billy and told him about it. He's like, "Man, seriously, appreciate that." He goes, "I got checked last year." He goes, "By game wardens." He goes, "We got checked." And he goes, "They didn't even check us for our regular licenses or nothing. They only wanted the filming permit."
Wow.
You know, because it's a buzz when they're around and stuff like that down there. But anyway, didn't mean to go off on that tangent, but that's part of the how we got to meet. Well, in the same year, Tristan goes to a Braves game.
Yeah, I'm just like random. You know, I had followed Billy on Instagram and stuff, and I happened to see that.
No connection at all yet.
Yeah, I know. And I just saw that he was at the game. Well, I happened to be gone with Katie, my wife, y'all who've seen him, listened and stuff, to a game with some of her friends or whatever. And I'm just sitting there like ordering a beer or something. And I was like, "Holy shit, that's Billy." So, you know, I said hi and stuff, and it's just that was the first time we met, and then, you know, having him on podcast after was cool.
Yeah, but you made the connection. He's like, "You know my dad," and
right, yeah, the email
Extreme
thing.
Hunting,
yeah, that's right.
Extreme Hunting at yahoo.com. That's my email if you guys ever want to email me personally. But anyway, that's how they met. So crazy. And then we asked Billy to be on the podcast. So nice. What a gentleman. And you hear that from any person that's ever talked to him. You know, the folks over at True Southern Waterfowl. Was it them that talked about Billy?
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't. But no, it was Smitty. Smitty was talking about him. We'll talk about Smitty in a second. But Smitty and his girlfriend were talking about how nice he was to them, as you know, and whenever they got to hang out and stuff, and just genuine people. And we went by there. And at first they were talking to people. We didn't want to interrupt them and everything else, but we got a chance to talk with them and shared some good stories. And I'll tell you one thing that's really wild that we didn't know is their pack that you love.
The Journey backpack?
Yeah, the Journey backpack, fully submersible, 100% waterproof. Dennis told us straight up on the side, he's like, "Listen, man," he goes, "I've got $250 into this thing." and it's selling it for $300. It's an incredible deal, but we got the opportunity to meet those guys and shake hands.
I'll say on that backpack real quick, and we have no connection with them financially or anything like that. But I'd been through a couple other companies' backpacks, and I really wanted to try something else. I had the shelving system that's customizable and the T-lock system, and is fully waterproof. And I can tell you, after a year of using that backpack and putting it through the Florida marsh, the freaking Arkansas, whatever the hell
storms
shit we do, and just everywhere in between, the Georgia coast and everything else. It is a awesome backpack, and I know there was a lot of them being sold at that show because it's a great product.
Yeah,
and I'll just say that.
Yeah, but those guys were incredibly nice and took time out to talk with us, and we really appreciated that. That was definitely one of the highlights for us.
And speaking of which, real quick, two things. One, we do have a video of that on our YouTube. I did a little review on that backpack. And two, they had a lot going on and stuff, and it was just awesome that we carved out some time to talk to them and just shoot the shit a little bit and stuff. And it was the first time we'd met Dennis, so that was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, from there, we met a lot of awesome people, and from just off the top of my head, Matt Carey of the Field, great photography page, and he was over there with the Gunner Kennels. We met and sat down with Mr. Ramsey Russell, who was just on the podcast not too long ago. So that was like, hey man, we just had you on the podcast 2 weeks ago. Now we're getting to sit down here and talk to you and your son. And
do you want coffee that doesn't suck? Get the Duck. Dirty Duck coffee is made specifically for the waterfowl enthusiast. Enjoy flavors like Morning Wood, Dark Dynasty, Cinnamon Teal Snickerdoodle, and First Flight to unlock the flavor that you'll enjoy in the blind for years to come. Our friends at Dirty Duck Coffee Company are now offering all Zero Duck 30 followers a 15% discount when you use code ZeroDuck15 on your next order. All right, listen, we're going to talk about that for a minute because, listen, y'all, you don't sit down with a legend. A legend. Imagine if you're a kid wanting to grow up and be Michael Jordan and sitting to us with Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Or somebody like that caliber.
Bill Jordan.
Yeah, I mean,
like
just
that. Funny, I said,
dude.
I didn't mean to do that.
He's so funny. We went by and talked to him at first, and then he goes, "Hey, hold on a minute." He goes, "Y'all don't leave," and I'm like, "Dude, we just got ordered by Mr. Russell not to leave." But we saw he was busy, so we came back. And here's one of my favorite things of the whole weekend was if you listen to Ramsey Russell, if you follow him, what he does, when he's been on our podcast a couple times, he's big about talking about the culture and the whole experience when you go overseas, these different places. It's if somebody's calling me just to kill ducks, he's not going to take them. I mean, he just won't take that client. He's looking for somebody who wants to have an experience. And he said part of the experience is learning the culture and understanding their culture, even all the way down to why they use black plastic garbage bags as decoys or whatever. And he made the comment one time on our podcast. He said, you don't really get to understand the culture of somebody until you put your feet up under their table. And that's always stuck with me because I guess maybe because I'm older, I grew up in some of those times where you really kind of did used to put as a dinner, a lot of people used to do that still. And we didn't do it a lot, but I thought, man, that's where you really, got to talk to people, and so we walked by a second time and we had him. He was sitting there with his son, and I said, "Tristan, come on." And or did he think he told me, "Come on, Dad?" And we went over there, and they were sitting there by themselves. And I thought, "Dude, grab a chair." So we sat down there, and as soon as we sat down, he looked up and he goes, "Well, hey guys," and I said, "Hey, a wise man once told me that you don't learn about people's culture until you put your feet up underneath their table." And he goes, "Ha or something like that. But we got to sit down. And thank you again, Ramsey, and thanks to his son too. We sat there with them as if we had been sitting with them 100 times. It was incredible how down to earth, great people they really are.
Oh, for sure.
It was awesome, and for father son and me, and Tristan to be there. There was a connection there for sure, and Ramsey supports a lot of what we do, in their message that we're trying to put out. And again, another huge inspiration to us, and it just blew my mind.
Yeah, it was really neat.
Humbled to death.
For sure. Yeah, it was really neat. And it's crazy that, that guy is just so on the run. Like, literally, he was going back home after Saturday night, I think.
Getting home after midnight.
Getting home and then packing all the stuff and going to Africa on Sunday.
South Africa.
South Africa to duck hunt. It's just so nuts.
He posted a picture on Monday of that guinea fowl.
I'm like, how did he do that already?
I go, what are you doing, Mr. Russell? I'm just like, wow.
How'd you do that so quick?
How did you do that? Yeah.
Like,
but
damn magician.
That was incredible. And another great a friend of ours, and that's Smitty, dude. I don't know if the world makes a person better than that. I mean, genuine,
awesome guy,
super nice man.
I'll tell you something about him real quick, and you can get into that. Me and him were going back and forth on Instagram last night because he shared that video of me shooting my bow, and we were talking about archery setups and stuff, and he was showing me his, and I was sending him videos of my stuff, and we were talking about old bows or whatever, and he's like basically showing me his old Trophy Ridge janky sight or whatever, and I was like, I'll show you a janky sight. I was like, mine's rusted on, I can't even get it off because I stripped it was rusted. And he's like, man, you need to go up here. And it's just the fact that he takes the time to do that. This is a guy I met one time in my life, and he's like, man, you need to go up here to Home Depot, you need to get this kit, and it's got this I forgot what he called it, the thing that drills it out or whatever, and that kit or whatever. And that's how nice.
Get a tap for it.
Yeah, this is a guy that, I wasn't even on the podcast for one. You did it.
Yeah.
And I met him one time, and it's like we've known Smitty forever.
Dude, think about the first time I told you about him before we even had him on the podcast. I go, dude, I haven't even met this guy yet.
Yeah.
And I love him. I mean, I love what if you guys go back and please go listen to his podcast. And it's not all about Smitty's beard sauce, but yeah, it is because he's making a living off of it. Buy it from him, you're gonna get your ass kicked. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, what a great idea for a gift.
Yeah, no, it's a great thing for that. But go back and listen to it because this man's had a journey. Thank you for your service again, bud. Just an incredible person. And yeah, we got the chance to sit and talk with them guys, and him and his girlfriend. Sorry, sorry, we're not supposed to remember other women's names. No, but she's at MCS Ranch.
Oh, okay, that's who that is.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It's or MSC. I think it is, but anyway, sweetheart. They're just incredible people. And if you follow him, dude, you're going to be like blurred because you're like, all right, bro, you were in Ireland, you were in Alaska, you were at the Delta Waterfowl Convention, then she's pulling bass out, then
another show this week.
They're at a show this week. These folks get around, and if you go to any big shows, you're probably going to get a chance to run into Smitty. And it's Kevin Smitty Smith, Smitty's Beard Sauce. And it's incredible product. It's awesome. I actually love taking their sweet one and mixing it with the ghost pepper. I think a little bit. That tastes great. It tastes great on duck meat too. Okay. But shout out to them. Who else?
Yeah, I mean, we I know we're probably forgetting some folks. But I mean, I know we got to talk to Sean Weaver for a minute, which was really cool. He's a super nice guy, and we've had him on the podcast last summer too, right around the time we had Billy on. And then I don't really. True Southern Waterfowl. We've had those guys on the podcast twice. Alex and Jesse, and man, they're just super down to earth people. Just a husband and wife team out filming waterfowl hunts, and they got an awesome YouTube page. They film and edit all their own stuff. That always on the road together. And
let me interrupt about them. Something that is a side note that I think people can give them mad respect for, that I witnessed from being just a 51-year-old. Dude, they got the little kids.
Yeah.
and they do all this stuff. It's an effort just to raise 2 little kids. All right. And if you haven't done it yet, but it's not easy because, man, I mean, just from diaper changing to I gotta pee to, I mean, holy shit. Dude, I won't go back. I don't care. Somebody goes, do you want to be younger? I'm like, hell no, I don't want to be younger, dude. I'm in some of my best years right now. But I wanted to point that out about them.
Yeah.
Because that's just so much. You know, oh, woe is us that we have to make 2 stops in 9 hours. You know, them, they might have been 7. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so. But they were a hoot to run into, and you know, the guys over at Combat Waterfowl.
Yeah,
Robert. You know, and we usually don't do this, but we're gonna call you out, Robert. Robert is going to be on the podcast. He's just super tied up, but we're working on scheduling that right now. And y'all, if you don't follow him, dude, just go follow him. He's entertaining. He's funny. He's funny, dude. He's awesome. But we're gonna have him on. The combat folks, you know, a good buddy of our, Warren. He's a shooter for them, and these folks they smoke ducks, dude. They really do. But yeah, I got to run into them. Our partners at Huntwise are offering an exclusive discount for Zero Duck 30 followers. As an elite member, some of the features you'll immediately gain access to are Huntcast, Windcast, peak kill times, property lines, owner information and phone lookup, 250 map layers, unlimited offline maps, 3D maps, social media, and on top of it all, save up to 50% off some of the top hunting brands in the industry. Download and explore the #1 hunting tool set today and save 20% by using code DUCK30. And then, you know, Buck over at Dirty Duck, you know, if you guys don't know the whole Dirty Duck story and where that came from, you need to go listen to the podcast because it's a cool story how it came about, you know, and we got to meet Buck and his wife, and you know, thank God for their cold brew when we first got there, because
it was nice.
It was like, oh dear Lord, is the 5 hour kicked in yet? No, you know, but the Dirty Duck coffee did.
Man, they got a great thing going over there. I mean, they're just absolutely killing it. I mean, their branding is amazing. Their coffee is great, and we've told y'all before, like, we're coffee nuts, and there you go. And y'all have seen me wear several times that I'm into Duck Stuff hat, and but yeah, their coffee's awesome. We drink it. If I don't drink it every day, it's because I'm just lazy. Sometimes I'll just throw in a K-cup or something, but I drink it just about probably 3 or 4 mornings out of a week, and just great stuff, you know. Glad to meet those guys finally. Wish we could have met Jay, but you know, he was out running the booth. They had a booth over at Squad Fest, which is Dive Bomb show too.
Yeah. Yep.
Jay was running that.
They were running that, and everybody that we talked to was just like, dude, the air conditioning in here is so great. Because we walked out, I know it's always hotter, but Tristan's truck's at 115, which it wasn't that hot. It was probably like 103. Only like 100.
Yeah, only. Yeah,
103. But we got to meet so many other people, you know. And this is the other thing that just kind of humbled us. And it was just, and I'm not trying to say this to like say I'm like proud or something. It's so cool when you work as hard as we do to do what we do, and the message that we try to put out, that if somebody stops you and says, hey, I love the message you're putting out, dude, it's just like, it gives you a wow moment. It's really neat. You're just like, it keeps you going. It's like fuel, you know what I mean? And we walked out of there on higher cotton, dude. I mean, because of so many things like that, and some of the things that people said to us was just, it was quite humbling. It just was, you know, and it makes you like, when you have those times where you're like, why didn't that video blow up or whatever, you know, just like somebody told us one time, you know, it's not all about the likes. It's not. And just to know that people are listening and watching is knowing that we're starting to make a difference out there, it really means something to me.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. And it is, you know, it is just outside of that, you know, every once in a while you get a message or something from somebody that, you know, hey, I like this episode or whatever. Like, that always means the world to us, because it's like, damn, like, wow, like, it just makes you feel like, I didn't even know they listened to it like that. You know, it's like, it's cool to see, you know, and it's crazy to look at the demographics of the podcast. You know, it's not like we're the biggest podcast in the world right now, but hopefully one day, you know, just kidding. That's never gonna happen, Joe Rogan. But anyway.
Hey, guess what? You couldn't have been Emmitt Smith if you didn't believe you could be.
But, you know, it's crazy to look at the demographics of, like, you know, the listens and stuff, and where people tune in and stuff from. And it's hundreds of different cities across the United States and even Germany and Australia and some of these other places. Like, dude, what? It's like, are you kidding me?
We're on the World Wide Web.
It is nuts to see that stuff, but that was well said.
It is. But, you know, just to kind of close, if you don't mind me just kind of closing it up, Tristan, is here's the deal. If you don't like to have fun, don't go. I'm going to give you a takeaway.
Yeah.
If you don't like to have fun, just don't go.
Yeah.
But
if you're super introvert, not probably the time for you.
Yeah, no. If you're a wuss, don't go. All right. Here's the thing. You can't afford to not go. I'll say that. You can't afford to not go. The deals you get from the manufacturers there are incredible. The giveaways that are constantly going on. I mean, constantly. I saw a dude that won the same gun 2 years in a row there. That's crazy. But the promotions and the knowledge and the guest speakers, and I mean, y'all, I would plan on being there all 3 days.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
We already decided we're going back all weekend next year.
No, well, we're going to be bold, and I'll say this. Should things go the way we need them to financially, which we have some things to figure out still, but we're going to be looking at maybe doing a booth next year.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how that turns out. But anyway, it was just what I want you to realize is from the time that you step on the pavement of that place, you know, High and Dry's right there. You got your gator tail boats that are sitting right out there out front. You're just immediately wowing. And not counting, you know, the World Cut Down Championship, you know, if you're into that kind of thing, being able to go to that. And wow. I mean, Delta Waterfowl, you did it right. And that was the big thing we wanted to kind of talk about tonight is how you guys have created now what they call it, Waterfowl Weekends, what the governor declared it.
Yeah. Governor of Arkansas, yep.
Yeah, the governor of Arkansas called it Waterfowl Weekend. That's an incredible big deal.
Delta Waterfowl Weekend, I think is what you called it, didn't it? Yeah. It was something with Delta, I thought they said.
I can't remember, but
I think so.
But we know
they did.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Well, that is incredible. So the turnout was incredible, y'all. It was packed. Every vendor we talked to was just like, wow, we cannot believe what this has exploded into. Even like Dennis was saying, Friday night. We couldn't believe how many people came by on Friday night, you know? So y'all, you can't afford to not go next year. And so we'll be going, definitely. Worst case scenario, we'll be there every day, you know, just walking around talking with people and stuff. But Tristan, you got anything else to add?
One thing I wanted to say to y'all, you know, if y'all like what we do here, you know, we're really trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, like ASAP. We're at 950 right now, so we're getting close. And if you listen to this podcast all the time and haven't seen our YouTube channel, go check us out and give us a sub on there. And we appreciate, you know, all you guys tuning in every week, and we'll keep doing what we're doing. Yep,
and stay tuned on our YouTube channel. We're going to be coming up with some of our top tips that will guarantee to put you in the best position to shoot blue-winged teal early season.
That's right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I've been southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I ought to slow down, standing in the pouring rain.